Hello, all my friends in TV land. This is Senior Issues, etc. I'm your host, Vita Verdon. I have an interesting show for you today, so hurry up, get your coffee, get your tea, paper and pencil, come, sit down, and hear what we have to say today. I have two young ladies with me that are very involved in a very fruitful and a very much needed program in Lake County, and they're going to tell us all about it. It's Lisa Connelly and Jenna Melloy, and they're going to tell us the program, how I came in. I'll just give you a brief rundown. I don't want to take up all the time with it. How I came in contact. The program is out of our state's attorney's office, and it's for first-time prosecutors. That I had an incident where I became involved with someone a young person who was their first-time prosecution, and I was asked, what did I think to go into the criminal system or this program, and definitely, I'm a praying Christian woman, and that I feel that this is a more valid way, and we need more of this in our society today. So I'm going to turn it over to Lisa. She's going to tell us the name of the program and how the program works, and tell us how she got involved and a little bit about herself, because I know you like to know a little bit up and personable about anybody on the show. So I'm going to turn it over to Lisa. It's so nice to have you on the show today. So glad you're here.
Thank you for having us. My name is Lisa Connelly. I'm an assistant state's attorney. I work for Mike Neerheim, who's the elected state's attorney in Lake County. So we prosecute all the crimes that happen in Lake County. And I came to this office when Mike has been in office now for about 6 years. And it was his vision, we've been friends for a very long time, was his vision to create an alternative prosecution program that's designed for first-time, nonviolent felony offenders who, if they accept responsibility for what they do and pay the restitution, and then we put them through a lot of program requirements and conditions, that at the end of the one-year program that they cooperate with us on, they sign a contract, it's very legal, that they will become eligible to expunge their record. And as you know, and probably your audience knows, if you have a felony conviction on your record, particularly as a young person, it affects your life negatively for the rest of your life. It's hard to get into college, it's hard to get a decent job or any job. It can affect housing if you have
even
a felony.
your credit.
Your credit,
yeah.
I mean.
It affects every aspect of your life.
Yes, it does. And so that is the idea behind the program. That being said, it's only for nonviolent felonies, so that means no weapons, no sex crimes, no gang involvement, nobody that has an order of protection outstanding against them. So there's a lot of, it's kind of hard to get into our program. It's very selective, and there's only certain eligible crimes that we will consider, that being, we have, I would say 50% of our caseload is drug offenses, young people with drug offenses, thefts, retail thefts, burglaries, credit card fraud, things like that. So nothing that your audience or you should be worried about that this person is now going to come out and get me, because we're not putting them in jail. These are people that did a really egregiously stupid thing that got them charged with a felony that we believe deserve a second chance. And Mike Neerheim, his mission statement in his office has always been to seek justice, and in particular in your case where you and I met, it was the appropriate thing for that young man. I mean, he did something wrong, and it was
But this was an out of the ordinary. It wasn't a pattern, a steady pattern that he was doing. And I understand his family did come and back him up greatly, which was a good thing.
They did. and
you
we
know.
can talk about that a little
So
bit.
when did you get this program started, Lisa?
I have been, so Mike's been in office for 6 years. So the first year he was in office, I went around to the other counties, particularly Kane County, who is like the gold standard of alternative prosecution programs, and DuPage and Cook County. And I talked to all the people that I run our program here. I talked to all the people that ran the programs in those counties. And I would come back and report to Mike. And then what we did, he and I sat down and we took what we thought was the best of each county and incorporated that into what we came up with as the Lake County State's Attorney's Alternative Prosecution Program. So we do things a little different.
Like the way you're sounding, like you did this, but I can imagine how difficult that was to eliminate a lot of things. And who are you picking without being biased?
There's all that involved in it. As I said, it's very selective. You have to be a United States citizen. That's something that's important. But when we decided how we were going to make our program run, we also was in collaboration with the chief judge at the time, a man by the name of John Phillips, who's a wonderful human being who has recently passed away, but he was the chief judge. He was involved. The probation department of Lake County was very heavily involved in helping us design it, as was the clerk's office. So this is a collaborative effort of so many different departments at the Lake County Courthouse, which
But
is...
it took your brain power.
Well,
that's your baby.
It is my baby. I claim it as my baby.
I'll give you credit for that, because
No,
I know in the little bit of things that I've just had to do for TV how difficult it is to not be biased and put something out there that's beneficial in the kind of society we're living in today with all the correctness about it.
That's true.
That we have to be careful of this and careful of that,
Right.
Yeah, so, well, that is good. So you started in, when did you first feel that, oh, this is working?
So that whole process that I just talked about took about a year. So it's really only been up and running since July of 2015. And we had our first, how the program works is you have to apply to the program, and you'll apply either through a defense attorney, a criminal court judge can recommend us. We have young state's attorneys in felony review or bond court, where every criminal defendant enters through. They can recommend a person.
Right.
So once we get that recommendation...
Can the person recommend themselves?
They can recommend themselves.
Well, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. We always like to have our defendants, particularly in my program, which is felonies, be represented by an attorney. Because we really aren't their attorney. We're the state's attorney. We're your attorney. So, so we always suggest, even if they call one of us and say, "Can I come and talk to you?" We want them to get a attorney, and they can get a public defender if they can't afford an attorney, who will work with us also. So once they call, and we think by reading their file that their crime qualifies, for example, a drug possession charge, then we'll bring them in, and Jenna is our program coordinator, so she and I sit together in an interview, and oftentimes they'll bring their attorney also. And we explain how the program works. They have to tell us that they are guilty, that they admit it, and that they want to have a second chance. So it's kind of, we want them to acknowledge the fact that they did something wrong, and they're accepting responsibility for what they did wrong.
The acceptance of responsibility, that's the biggie.
That's the big part. And
so, and then you're going to bring Jenna into it now.
I'll be delighted to bring Jenna in and her baby Hitch here.
Yes. So I've been in the office for about 3 years. I interned before when I was in my undergrad in college, and kind of hoped that Mr. Nierheim would hire me eventually. So I love working at our office, and Lisa kind of brought me in with the Alternative Prosecution Program, and that's how I started helping with her and talking with the defendants that come in with the program and all of that. So we have Hitch here, who actually he does our Veterans Court, Mental Health Court, and Drug Court. So he's kind of part of our specialty court systems that we have, and now more so too we have with the alternative program. Sometimes we do with our defendants, or a lot of times their families come in as well, and he's been a huge help with them too when they come into our office.
Because the family is probably
yeah.
really frizzled.
Oh
right?
yeah, of course, especially if it's, you know, a lot of times it's parents or husbands and wives that come in. So, and they can't come in with the interview, so a lot of times, you know, if they want to sit with Hitch if he's available, they will, and he'll just kind of hang out like he is now. He's pretty calm guy. We have, so in our office, Mr. Nierheim, and we just want to be able to give people, you know, when they do come in contact with the criminal justice system, you know, a little bit of comfort with the dogs, and then just kind of giving them help.
That cuts through all the stress, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, and even with our employees,
you know, just
too, in the
even looking
office.
at him puts one into, it changes the atmosphere into relaxation.
It does, and we just want to, so when he even goes to court, too, with the mental health, drug, and veteran courts, you know, he's a big help, and we just want to give people the opportunity to get the help that they need as well. So whether it's through our program or any of the other specialty court programs that we have.
I know that it's exciting this is a new start for you, and to get into a new program.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm going to have to get back to you because now I've got to give my Vita's Pearls of Wisdom. Now, you know, I'm always soliciting for a lot of things, so I had some calls this week. I live in Libertyville in Lake County area, and what they have is a popular, it's called a kitchen band. You know, they have wash tubs and all kinds of things. Well, anyway, the kitchen band has been going on for a long time. As long as I've had this show, I know the kitchen band. And so a lot of them have kind of retired and moved away. So they're looking for an accordion player, and they're looking for a keyboard player, and they're just looking for people who want to come in and snap some spoons and hit some things. So I said, okay, you know, I'll go to bat for you. So any of you couch bugs out there, you know, it's time to get off the couch. You know that here on the show we're advocates of volunteering, and we're all volunteers here, and I can't even express my own attitude. You know, I'm 86 years old, and I feel that just being on the show has energized me so much that if instead of me just sitting in the rocking chair and looking out the window, I say, I can't do that. You know, they're waiting for me today. They're expecting this, that it puts a little bite in your punch and a bee in your bonnet. You can tell my age by saying that, you know, to do it. So any of you that feel like that you would like to participate in it, what I want you to do is contact me, and I'll give you the name of somebody that you could meet with. And they do not go around at January, February, and March because of the weather. So it is not 12 months out of the year. And what they go to is nursing homes. I know they go to the Winchester House, and they entertain it. It's really a good thing, and you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So anyway, my telephone number is area code 847-573-1233. You can get me on email at vitaverden@comcast.net. You can get me that way, and then you can go on to and see the different shows that I have online. I have about, I think, 125 different shows online on any kind of subject, and you know, you can call me on any subject you want. You know, I don't know everything yet, but I can find out where I can get things. If you want a show on something, if I don't have it, I'll research it, and I will really try to get the show on. And you go to the website, it's Senior Issues, etc., etc.org. Okay? Now, if you go on to the website, I want you to see the whole website. The whole website, you will see the pictures of myself and my most faithful crew here. and then you'll scroll down and it will show you all the places that the show is seen in all the different counties and the time that the show is seen at, which is important. And then you scroll down from there and you'll see these funny little boxes will pop up, and it will give the subject matter that the show. And this subject matter is going to be on this alternate program. This is what will be popping up for the next couple of weeks. So, you know, if you'll do this, you know, that you have heard me get on my soapbox and get in my preacher hat and preach to you all, you know, that we're community, and what we do is we all need each other. So as we all need each other, we help each other and stay together, because you know that our goal is to live forever, so we're hanging on to that. Now, I want to get back to, I left off with Jenna. So Jenna, I know the program is exciting for you, and I suppose you've learned a lot this last year.
I have learned a ton this past year. Just getting to hear everyone's stories. You know, it's not every day that people are coming in, you know, and they're defendants and being prosecuted by our office, that, you know, the attorneys and victim coordinators and that kind of thing get to hear the other side of it too. So defendants, yeah, they're people too, you know, and everyone kind of has their own story.
Well, you're hearing the gut truth of things.
Yeah.
You know, so it hits you.
Yeah, it's definitely a different perspective. I don't think that I first saw being in this program when I first started at all, so it's awesome.
Now, talking with you, Lisa, I know we were talking before the show, and that you were saying that, you know, like it's from 2015 actually, that it's been that you've gotten some wonderful thank you letters. Maybe you could read us one of them, or tell us a little bit about it. Share that with us, because it's so nice to get some kind of results from a program that it's not just blank, that you know something is going on, right?
Yes, that's right. We have our people plead into a courtroom, Judge Christopher Stride's courtroom. He's a circuit judge in town. He's a wonderful human being, and he always chuckles that we are, you know, the only prosecutors that are tearing up in court, because these people, you get to know them, and they've been with us for like a year by the time we are. What we do at the end is we dismiss their case and give them the paperwork, so they're eligible at that point to file some paperwork and completely clean up their record. It's gone. So through this process, usually Jenna and I make
They become almost like a family to
They
you.
do, and we make them go to school. Our big thing is education, so we've gotten so many people with GEDs that have completed their GEDs.
Well, that is a good thing.
It's a wonderful thing. It's
you know, because it
life-changing.
makes them focus right in. I have to do something.
Exactly, and you can't get anywhere in the world today, as you know,
No.
without a high school diploma, certainly. We have so many people in college that we sent to college. We actually even have someone in medical school that went through our program.
Oh,
But anyway,
what a nice results to hear.
it's great results. This one is from a young lady who was caught up in a drug offense with her boyfriend, and it said, "Lisa, I just want to thank you once again for the opportunity you gave me. In a way, this all changed my views on life. I've been so independent and focused on getting my life on track. I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason. My mind is stronger and my heart as well. I'd love to keep you updated on my life, hopefully. I make something great of it and make you proud. Have a blessed day."
Isn't that
Isn't
nice?
that sweet? And we talked here from a different perspective. We had a young man that had applied to law school. He had a substance abuse problem, but we both really liked him and stayed on him and on him. We monitor these people ourselves. And at the end of the day, he just couldn't kick. He had a heroin habit, and he just could not kick that drug. But why this letter is important to me, it's from his mother. It said, "Hi, Lisa, I want to thank you for all that you did I was so impressed and appreciative by the commitment and compassion displayed by Judge Stride, Mike Neerheim, and you. While the outcome was not what either of us hoped for, we are not in control of his choices. I try to be, but need to learn to let go." and she said she'd pray for us too.
Oh, that is
Which
something.
is really nice when it's a mother
Right.
where we've now revoked his agreement, and he was going to become a convicted felon for the rest of his life. But the mother realized we were trying to make a difference.
Yeah. You know, there was another program that you were talking about. What is the name of that other program?
That's the misdemeanor alternative
Yes.
prosecution program, and that one we did the felony first, which is mine. Suzanne Willett runs the misdemeanor program. She's actually part of the dog thing too. Misdemeanors are less egregious crimes.
Well, what is a misdemeanor?
So it'd be small drug offenses, disorderly conduct.
Oh, it's like under the radar.
Under the things that aren't so
Okay.
terrible. And those people have less conditions and requirements than we give our people because we have felonies. So they usually do some public service. Their program lasts about 6 months. And then at the end, they have the same result.
Is it just public service, or is it public service and a program?
Theirs is
Both? Or do they customize it?
We customize it, they'll customize it. They don't have to do as many requirements as we make our people do because they've done a more serious crime. So theirs is probably public service, usually substance abuse. It's usually
Well, who
drug cases.
determines whether it's the lesser? Is that the judge that determines? How is that determined?
That's the state's attorneys.
It's through the state's attorney.
That's run out of the felony review state's attorney. Steve Scheller runs that part of it. So when the police call, they'll call in and say XYZ has happened. And then at that point is when the case actually gets charged. So it could get charged as a misdemeanor, which is less bad, for a small amount, let's say, of marijuana, cannabis. Or it gets charged as a felony for large amounts of cannabis.
Now, these people that are involved with these events, are they aware that these programs are available? Are they told?
They're given what you've probably heard on watching a TV show, Discovery. It's like police reports.
Oh.
So when their attorney gets these police reports, he also gets a letter, notification from our office that says these are possible programs that your client might be willing to.
Oh, so they're given a list.
They know. Yes.
Oh, so they're given a certain amount of choices.
Right.
Well, do they have the wherewithal to realize that this is a good thing?
I think once they come in, meet with us and their attorneys, I think that they do, that's a big part of it too. We want them to appreciate that this is kind of a huge deal, I don't want to say a break necessarily, but you know,
it is a
something,
huge deal.
yeah, that, you know, we want them to be appreciative of it. A lot of times, you know, the defense attorneys, for them to, you know, guide them in the right, you know, direction that's best for them as well. And, you know, they see if it's an appropriate fit that this program could work for them too, so.
So you haven't worked out, the program hasn't been in existence long enough to have any kind of percentage. Well, I mean, what would you say? It's hard to say, well, what is success and what is not success? This is a difficult thing.
We probably have, we've probably run either, there in some form or another, 125 people through this program. There are 50 that have successfully had their cases dismissed. There's probably about only 5 that we've had to revoke, which is meaning 5 failed because they reoffended. You can't get charged with any other crimes when you're in our program, and you have to follow our rules. And if you don't, then we all go back to court, and then you're sentenced on the felony. But only 5 out of, you know, so we think that's a pretty good record.
That's a pretty good record, but it probably has to go about another 10 years before you get a good handle on it. But since this is your...
Jenna will have to call me and tell me how that goes, because I'll be gone.
Well, that's still your baby, so you still want to see the results. Like if you have a good start on it, then it's going to end up with good results on it.
We think so. We're really pleased.
Now, we talked about volunteers. Now, do you need any volunteers in your program?
As I mentioned to you earlier, we have one of the things our defendants have to do is go in front of a citizens panel, which is about 10 people from the community that we've selected that sit on this panel, and they talk to our defendants and ask them what happened, why they did it, why they think they deserve a break, as Jenna had said.
It's called the Citizens Panel?
Called the Citizens Panel.
Okay.
We actually have a man on our panel that's well into his 70s who does such a wonderful job. He brings the spirit of this kindness to the room. Right, sitting here today, we don't have any openings on our citizen panel, but if it does sound interesting to people, they can, I believe you have our website and our phone number. They can certainly call us and contact me, and I can, talk to them about it.
And if anybody is interested in getting information, do you have the website?
We do. It's LCSAO, which stands for Lake County State's Attorney's Office.org. And right on the front page is a box for Alternative Prosecution, which is our program.
So that's
There's
it,
information.
alternate prosecutions.
Alternative
Okay, so
prosecution.
it's an alternate effect to prosecution.
Right.
Now, as you've had the experience in seeing these cases, what would you like to tell people out there? It's mostly young people, or does some older people?
We have had older people too. Generally, those are financial crimes. They get caught up in a bind of bill paying and no money and try to
writing
do
a bad
it.
check or
Right,
something
things
like that?
Yeah, stealing.
Well, what would you say? Well, like on the felony, that is stealing, isn't it?
That is stealing. Yeah, there's felony theft. There's also misdemeanor theft. It goes according to the amount that you've stolen, which makes it a felony or misdemeanor. But I would say to your audience that
For them preventative.
preventative,
Yeah.
or if they have grandchildren or their children get caught up in this system, that this program is out there, and not all defense attorneys take advantage of it, and we think they should if they're eligible. We're a good place, a first step. We don't, I've probably turned down, I don't know, what do you think, 30 people that weren't.
So a big thing is that people are not aware, don't have the full awareness of this program. So anybody out there, if you know of somebody, bring them to the awareness of this program. It's out of the state's attorney's office, and as she gave the website. Maybe let's go to the website one more time. To be repetitive about it, because we want this to go through the community. This is a good thing. You know what? We have to stick together. We've all come short of the glory of God. We've all done something wrong, so we all need help. So give them the website one more time.
It's LCSAO, which stands for Lake County State's Attorney's Office.org. And then I believe you have our phone number. I'm happy to talk to anybody with any questions.
If you look up at the screen, you'll see our telephone number, and you go onto the website, it will give you all the information. Okay, because what we want this to do is we want this to run through our society. What we want to see is people corrected, not convicted and made into hardened criminals. What we want to produce is productive people. Okay, when you come, you sitting there on the couch, to the end of your rope, you tie a knot and you hang on. And the reason we want you to hang on is because we know that the best is yet to come. Catch the spirit this week. God bless you. We love you.